welcome to this week's training. Thank you for your patience. I am a few minutes late. It's what happens when you're a toddler mom. It's inevitable when I schedule something like this that she needs something at exactly the moment when I plan to go live. So, is what it is, but we are here now. And today we're talking about pricing, right? We're talking about how to make decisions around increasing your prices and when it makes sense to do that in the holistic pregnancy and postpartum industry. So if you are just hopping on, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and drop in the comments where you're tuning in from and what kind of practice you have. If you are popping on the replay later today or some other day of the week in the future, whatever, just hashtag replay and let me know something cool that happened to you today, okay? Or something totally random or something boring, whatever, just show me a little bit of love. And then if you are in the Zoom room with me, which is where I want you to be because I can see your comments in real time without too much tech workaround. So if you're on Facebook and you want to be able to interact with me, I want to be able to interact with you too. So hit me up for the Zoom link and I will get you inside here. It's the same one every week. So once you have it, you can just bookmark it and come in every week. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let me go find our slides for this week. Share screen. This one. All right. Welcome. If you don't know me personally yet, my name is Ari Wheeler. I am the head profit growth strategist and the CEO at Some Lady Financial LLC, where I specialize in helping holistic pregnancy and postpartum practice owners increase their profits and their impact using my SERVE protocol. So let's go ahead and dive into today's training, which, as I mentioned, we are talking about price increases, okay? So first up, why does it make sense to increase your prices? Why would we want to do that, okay? There are a few reasons that we want to think about here, right? First up, you do something that no one else does, or you do it better than anyone else, and clients are willing to pay for it, okay? For example, if you are a midwife, okay, and maybe you can attend home births, right? And you also have a birth center, and then maybe you also have hospital privileges, right? So if somebody opts for a home birth, but something happens and they risk out of that, or they need a hospital transfer, if you can then go with them to the hospital and continue to oversee their care, that's huge, right? That's not something that is super common these days, at least not in the circles I run in. So that could be very valuable to people, okay? And then on the other hand, if you are a midwife who can attend, say, a free birth, right? And just kind of sit on your hands if you're one of those, or if you can attend a breech birth, right? A home breech birth. Those could be things that are not super common that could be very valuable as well, okay? So think about those. And then another thing to think of that might make sense for when to increase your prices, my words are not working today, sorry, is when your costs have gone up significantly. Okay, so you definitely need to pass those costs along to your clients, okay? Because when your costs continue to go up and you don't raise your prices, you're pricing yourself out of all the profit, and eventually you end up paying someone else to work, and that is not going to last very long, right? And then the third thing to think about is maybe a competitor nearby has raised their prices, and if you don't increase your prices, clients are going to start to think less of your offer, or they might even start looking elsewhere. And I know that this can seem kind of counterintuitive, right? But think as a consumer yourself, when you are shopping for something, maybe that's, it could be midwifery care, right? It could be chiropractic care. Are you only looking for the cheapest option? Probably not, right? And if you are that person that's looking for the cheapest, like least expensive thing, is probably not the person you want to work with anyway. You want someone who values what you do, okay? So think of, right, if somebody's out there and they're, shopping around, we'll use midwives as an example, okay? They're shopping around for midwives and they go to a few different websites and they notice that, sort of the average price is, let's just say $5,000 for a home birth, okay? And they get to your website and it's like $3,500. What are they going to think? They're not just going to go, oh, this is the cheapest midwife, let me pick her, right? What goes through people's heads? Well, why is she so much less expensive than everybody else, right? Does she have less experience? Does she have less support staff? Like what's going on here that she can offer these services for so much less than everybody else, okay? So that's something really important to consider as well. And when it comes to your pricing, it's important to remember that you are in control, right? You can raise prices whenever you want, and you should. All right, so next up, how do you know if your pricing is in line with what your clients are willing to pay? And how do you know if it's time to raise your prices? Well, that's an easy one. You're going to want to look at your business goals. Okay? What are the things that matter most to you right now? Are they revenue related, or are they about client retention or growth? Okay. Once you've identified those goals, think about what would have to happen in order for them to be achieved. I gotta hide this little thing again. So if increasing the price of your services will help get you closer to achieving those goals, go for it, right? It might not be easy, but it will be worth it. Now, before you make any changes to your pricing, you definitely want to make sure that you have a strong understanding of where your business is financially and also what the market will bear, right? You don't just want to change your prices like willy-nilly and just pick a price out of thin air. There's definitely some research and some data that needs to back up these choices, right? So that way, when you do decide to increase your prices, you'll know that it's a good decision for both your bottom line and for the health of your business. Okay, so if you're feeling ready to increase your price point, but you're not sure by how much, here are a couple questions that you can ask yourself to help decide that, right? Number one, what changes have been made in the industry over the past year? Okay, do you have more competitors in the market who are charging more or less than you are, right? Either way, you might need to make some changes there, okay? If there's a lot of people charging less than you, you might need to raise your prices just to separate you from those people, right? If you're offering a higher level, higher competency, a higher level of excellence, more personalization, right? Then you need to separate yourself from those competitors, okay? And then if they're charging more than you, well, get up there and catch up, right? Because that rising tide is going to lift all boats, okay? Do you have increased licensing requirements, right? Maybe your continuing education credit cost has gone up, okay? Maybe there are higher taxes that you have to pay now. Whatever that is, that needs to go, you need to consider that into your pricing as well, okay? And then number two, how well have my services been selling, right? If sales are down or they're kind of holding steady, they're stagnant, but costs haven't changed since last year, this could be an indicator that consumers aren't as interested in the service, okay? Now, this can be kind of tricky when we talk about like the birth industry, because obviously people are always having babies, right? So there might be something else going on there if this is what you're noticing, okay? It might not necessarily be that people just aren't interested, okay? They might need help finding you. You might need to change your pricing. There might be some marketing things happening, but definitely ask yourself how well your services have been selling, okay? If you are like fully booked out, it's time to raise your prices, okay? If you're not hearing no every once in a while, if you're not hearing, oh, that's too expensive for me every once in a while, it's time to raise your prices, okay? That's kind of the bottom line there. All right. Oh, this slide is from last week. We don't need that one. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things to take into consideration when you are thinking about raising your prices. Okay. The first thing you should do is consider your business goals. Okay. And then if you follow what we covered today, you'll be on the right track to pricing correctly for long-term success. Now, if you don't have somebody supporting you with this and you feel like you need some extra support, feel free to comment below with profitable, right? You can put profitable right in the chat here on Zoom, or you can type it in the comments if you are joining on Facebook, whether you're live or whether you're on the replay. I'll make sure I see it. And that way I can reach out to you to talk about how I might be able to support you in pricing your services for profitability, right? So that you can make a difference for the people that you serve, and you can also make a difference for yourself, okay? Because that is important too. We need you around long-term, which means you need to be able to get paid. You need to be able to make a profit so that you can stay in business to continue serving the community to the best of your ability, okay? I'm going to go ahead and, oh, okay, there we go, stop sharing. Ooh, that was easier than I thought. So I hope, as always, that this training was really valuable for you. If you have small business buddies that you think could benefit from this information, please go ahead and tag them in the comments, or you can share this video with them directly in Messenger, whichever you prefer. And that is all I have for you this week. Again, you know my DMs are always open. If you don't feel comfortable commenting publicly on a post, feel free to slide into my DMs. I don't bite, right? I'm pretty cool. I curse every once in a while, but other than that, I'm pretty chill, right? So go ahead and slide into my DMs. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you grow. I'm here to help you be around long-term to serve your community, right? To serve pregnant and birthing families, postpartum families, to the best of your ability. And again, make that difference in your community, okay? So until next week, let's do this. Let's get out there. Let's serve our communities and let's grow. See you next week.